How's it going, everyone? Mega Mashers here, and it's time for another Pokemon special video. It has been requested by one of my subscribers, known as Oblivion Cub. He's also a great YouTuber who is doing Minecraft videos. Check him out, he's absolutely awesome. So, in this video, we are going to be covering Skarmory, and we're going to be doing things like analyzing this monstrous steel bird, as well as going over a few set ideas, and surprisingly enough, this thing could be offensively viable. So, with that being said, let's jump into the next section of the video. So, with Skarmory, it has the very rare typing of Steel and Flying, and Skarmory is the only Pokemon of its kind to ever have this typing, and it is very valuable and very awesome, and I'll explain why. Right off the bat, you only have two weaknesses, that being to fire and electric. Everything else, you are either damaged normally or resistant to. You have two immunities, poison and ground, and you have 8 resistances, that being to normal, flying, bug, steel, grass, psychic, dragon, and fairy. Now, in previous generations, you had a resistance to ghost and dark, but because of the 6th generation steel type nerf, you take regular damage from it now. But does that mean that Skarmory sucks? Hell to the no! It is still one of the most annoying as hell Pokemon to deal with, and the thing just doesn't die. It just keeps going, and it just sits there gliding away as if everything's gonna be alright, and 9 times out of 10 it is gonna be alright. So, moving on. As for the abilities, the first one it gets is Keen Eye, in which this ability allows for you to never lose your accuracy, and also you never have to deal with Pokemon that spam evasion moves. Of course, evasion is banned by Smogon, and I mean, it's like it'd be an annoying as hell thing to deal with. So I kind of don't blame Smogon for banning something like that. I mean, some could argue that you like that they ban everything, or that they just don't want to deal with something that's luck based. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Me, I'm kind of mixed about that, but at the same time, it's like I'm not really too keen on having to deal with Pokemon that like to spam double team or minimize. So anyways, so just leave it at that. The next ability that it gets, Sturdy. Sturdy allows you to be protected from moves that would otherwise one-shot you. It's basically a permanent focus sash, which is awesome! As for its hidden ability, it gets Weak Armor. Now, Weak Armor is not as good as Sturdy, but what Weak Armor does is if you get hit with a contact move, you end up having your defenses dropped by 1 stage, but your speed gets boosted by 1 stage. So, that is pretty good and can be definitely viable for an offensive set for Skarmory, which is something that nobody like ever expects Skarmory to run. You usually have the standard Skarmory that has like spikes or stealth rocks with roosts and Brave Bird or Iron Head, along with the phasing move like Whirlwind or Roar. That's a standard set, which I'll cover in this video. Now let's take a look at the stats here. So it has 65 HP, 80 attack, 140 defense, 40 special attack. Wow, that's really overpowered. Not. 70 special defense and 70 speed. So, right off the bat, you can tell that this Pokemon isn't really going to be that good at taking special hits, even if they're neutral or not really effective. And that base 65 HP isn't exactly the best kind of HP to have for something so defensively tanky, but it's severely offset by that base 140 physical defense. Like, that's insane. And considering it has base 80 attack, is actually really good for a Pokemon that's meant to wall the shit out of you. So, with that being said, how about we move on to the first set? So, with this first set here is going to showcase a very different way to use Skarmory that, like I said before, nobody is going to expect to see coming, and they're going to think, okay, what the hell do I do now? So, the item for choice for Skarmory, I put literally anything because there are so many item choices that could work very well for this set. Do you want to give it a Sky Plate to boost the power of its Flying type moves? Do you want to give it an Iron Plate to boost the power of its Steel type moves? Do you want to give it Life Orb to further boost the power of its moves? Do you want to give it leftovers for passive recovery at the end of each turn? Do you want to give it a Lumberry to protect it from being burned or paralyzed? I mean, there's quite a few options here. Now, of course, with me saying literally anything, I don't mean something like choice items. That's just stupid. Like, it's not going to work if you are going to use something like a choice scarf or a choice band on a set that's meant to set up first. What are you thinking? Anyways, so as for the ability, we will be going with weak armor as a way to uh, allow you to have a chance to boost your speed and lower your defense. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would you want to have your defenses lowered? Well, I will explain that in this set. As for the EV spread, 4 is going to go into HP, 252 into attack, and 252 into speed, and we'll go with the Jolly Nature. Now, I will say uh, a spread that could work equally as well would be something like 252 HP for attack and 252 speed for a more bulkier spread. But this right here is a spread that I would prefer to have so that you have maximized offensive potential right from the gate. So as for the first move, we're going to go with Swords Dance, which is a move that boosts your physical attack by 2 stages, and that's really good for Skarmory. The next move slot that we have, I decided to put Guard Swap, because Guard Swap actually goes very well with the negative effect of Weak Armor. Weak Armor happens, like I said, to uh, lower your physical defense by 1 stage, but what Guard Swap does is it swaps defensive boosts with your opponent. So say if you get hit and weak armor activates and you use Guard Swap the next turn, you actually shift that defense drop onto your opponent, therefore making them that much more physically vulnerable to your attacks. So that's just something to keep in mind. But if you don't want to go with something that's semi-gimmicky like that, then you can go with Roost, as it allows for you to recover your health by 50%, which is always nice. The next move that we get is Iron Head. Iron Head is such a great move for Skarmory, considering that it's base 80 power, it's 100% accuracy, so you don't have to rely on something stupid like Steel Wing, which is 70 power and 90% accuracy, I think. So you get a much better deal with this one, and as a huge bonus, has a 30% chance to flinch your opponents. So that's just something to keep in mind. And the last move that we have is Brave Bird. Oh, Brave Bird, how you remind me so much of that goddamn Talonflame that likes to bird spam everything, and it's in the OU tier. So this is basically another Pokemon that has use of Brave Bird. Brave Bird is a base 120 power move that is on the physical side, and it's flying type, and it fucks shit up, basically. Now, of course, you do have some recoil damage that you have to worry about, considering that if you damage your opponent severely, you're going to have that come right back onto you. I think it's like by 1/4 or 1/3. I can't quite remember. I think it's 1/3 considering it's base 120 power, but that's why you have something like leftovers and Roost to help mitigate the negative effects. So that's basically it for the first set. Let's move on to another one. So this next set here, being a lot less convoluted and more straightforward than the last set, goes a little something like this. The item for choice for Skarmory, you can either go with Leftovers for passive recovery, or Rocky Helmet to allow you to uh, be a deterrence for physical attackers and to take away 1/6 of their health every time they make physical contact with you. That is a great way to whittle down annoying physical attackers. On top of that, there's entry hazard damage to worry about, and the possibility of status damage should a Pokemon burn or paralyze or toxic it or whatever. The ability for choice is going to be sturdy in this situation to allow you to be protected from moves that would potentially kill you in one shot. Oh, not with sturdy. Sturdy, like I said, is a permanent focus sash, which is awesome. As for the EV spread, 252 is going to go into HP, 252 into physical defense and 4 to speed, and we'll be going with an Impish nature to further boost your physical defense. And at level 100 with full investment with an Impish nature, we're looking at over 400 physical defense. That is insane. So there is no way in hell that you're going to be dying anytime soon. As for the move set, sorry, you can either go with Stealth Rocks or Spikes. It all depends on if you have team members that have one or the other sort of entry hazard. Say if your team member has Spikes, then you should go with Stealth Rock. Or if they have Stealth Rocks, then you should go with Spikes. It's really dependent on how you run your team and what sort of move sets that your teammates run. But either way is really good. Stealth Rocks happens to deal heavy damage for Pokemon that are weak against Stealth Rocks, most notably being Talonflame and Volcarona, which are two incredibly threatening Pokemon. The next move that we have, Roost. Roost is a must on this set in order to keep Skarmory alive and healthy, and that much more of a hindrance to your opponents. The next move that we have, Roar. Roar, in my opinion, is better than Whirlwind due to the fact that it's a sound-based move, and you can roar away Pokemon that hide behind substitutes, and because of a nice little buff this generation, yeah, you can protect all you want, but guess what? You're still going to get blown away and have to force another Pokemon to come out and take entry hazard damage. So the next move that we have, you can either go with Brave Bird as a very powerful and reliable base 120 flying type move. However, the only thing unreliable about it is that it causes recoil damage for you. So that might not be the best move on a defensive set. But, I haven't exactly seen people deterred away from using it because Brave Bird is actually a very good move. However, it does get Iron Head, which is its alternative to Brave Bird. If you don't like taking residual damage, then you can go with Iron Head. Iron Head is also a great way to deal with Mega Diancie, which is a huge threat in the OU tier. That's just something to keep in mind. This next set here serves pretty much the same purpose as the last set here. You are meant to be a defensive behemoth that doesn't die. Instead, rather than being physically defensive, we're going to be as specially defensive as possible to check the likes of Mega Diancie and Landorus Incarnate, which are two very huge threats that have no problem going mixed, and they do a very good job of doing that. So, once again, the item for choice is going to either be Leftovers or Rocky Helmet. The ability, once again, is going to be Sturdy. The EV spread is going to be 252 HP, 252 special defense, and 400 speed, just to give you some all-around good mixed bulk. And we'll be going with a careful nature to further boost your special defense. The moveset is the exact same. Stealth Rock / Spikes for entry hazards, Roost for reliable recovery, Roar to phase out Pokemon that either set up or are annoying as hell, not to mention it racks up hazard damage, and then we have Brave Bird or Iron Head for your only attacking move so that you're not complete taunt bait. Brave Bird to deal heavier damage, and Iron Head to deal more reliable damage that doesn't involve the use of recoil for extra added power, and not to mention it demolishes Mega Diancie due to the fact that it has a 4 times weakness to steel. That's basically all I have to say about this set. I mean, it's straightforward, like I said, and it serves the same function as the last set. Now, before I wrap things up, I want to make a quick mention that Shed Shell is a great option as well for a held item. What Shed Shell does is it allows for you to be free from being trapped by any means necessary, whether you are trapped by Shadow Tag or whether you are trapped by Magnet Pull. Magnet Pull absolutely destroys any steel types like Skarmory or Ferrothorn because of Pokemon like Magnezone that like to prey upon those defensive Pokemon and completely obliterate them with either Thunderbolt or with Hidden Power Fire. But with Shed Shell, you could be like, yeah, your Magnet Pull seems like a nice ability. Too bad it ain't gonna work on me, sucker. And then just switch out and you're good to go. And Skarmory lives at least to see another turn. So I just want to make a quick mention of that. Shed Shell is a great item to use on all these sets that I have presented to you in this video. I have a great idea for you. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. It really helps the video my channel and the rest of its contents. If you want to see more videos like this one, then feel free to hit up that subscribe button and join the Mega Express today. Also, be sure to leave me your feedback about this video in the comments section down below. Tell me what you liked about it, tell me what you didn't like about it, and tell me what you would like to see in the near future. Also, be sure to check out Poketown and Cat's Epic Pokemon Cloning Group, which are two groups on Facebook that I will post links to in the description box down below. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day, and I shall see you guys next upload.